Lord Ormund Hightower. Lord Ormund Hightower is likely to feature heavily in House of the Dragon Season 3. While Gwayne was tasked with securing the capital, Ormund represented the military strength of House Hightower in the Reach. Born before 103 AC and a nephew of Otto Hightower, he carried the Valyrian steel sword Vigilance, one of his house's greatest heirlooms. When the Dance of the Dragons erupted, Ormund rallied the Reach for the Greens, leading thousands of knights and men-at-arms through a region that was far from united. Support for his cause was uneven, and enemies like Sir Alan Beesbury harried his camps along the way. In battle, Ormund proved himself a serious and resolute commander, and his campaign became closely tied to the rising fortunes of Prince Daeron Targaryen. What makes Ormund interesting is the mix of qualities. He is a military leader, but not a simple one, capable of discipline and restraint, yet also able to inspire fear. That balance makes him feel like one of the clearest expressions of Hightower power at war. More than anything, Ormund stands as a symbol of House Hightower at its most formidable, proud, martial, and carrying the full weight of its name into one of the bloodiest conflicts in Westerosi history. Sir Gwayne Hightower. The youngest son of Otto Hightower and brother to Alicent, Gwayne was born before 96 AC and raised in the corridors of power. His life was defined by duty and ultimately tragedy. When the dance began in 129 AC, the city watch of King's Landing became a battleground of divided loyalties. Otto made Gwayne second in command, trusting him with the city's defense and the task of rooting out disloyalty. A loyal Green, Gwayne joined the envoys sent to Dragonstone in search of reconciliation. But in the end, it was treachery within the ranks of the city watch that sealed his fate. During the fall of King's Landing in 130 AC, Gwayne rushed to raise the alarm, only to be seized and disarmed by the ambitious Sir Luther Largent, whom he named a traitor. Largent killed him before opening the gates to the Blacks. With Gwayne's death, the Greens' hold on the capital came to an end. Are you Team Black or Team Green? Let us know in the comments. Uthor of the High Tower. While the early history of House Hightower is veiled in myth, one man stands at the heart of its origin story: Uthor. Long before the Andals or Targaryens, Uthor commissioned the great stone tower defining his house. Legend says he enlisted Bran the Builder, the ancient architect of Winterfell and the Wall, to craft a lighthouse unlike any in Westeros. Rising from the black stone fortress on Battle Isle, it was more than a watchpost. It represented hope, guidance, and vigilance. The tower's light was said to be visible for many leagues, guiding ships safely through treacherous waters and projecting strength to would-be invaders. Before the stone tower, the High Tower seat was a fortress of mysterious black stone on Battle Isle. Its origins uncertain, perhaps even Valyrian or older. This island guarded the Honeywine River's mouth, controlling trade and military access to Oldtown. The fortress's dark walls, worn smooth by centuries of salt and storm, stood as a sentinel over the Reach's richest lands. Uthor's vision transformed this stronghold into a city's defining monument. He is said to have married Maris the Maid, daughter of Garth Greenhand, and his sons, Uragan and Paramore the Twisted, were credited with the foundation of the Citadel. Lymond Hightower. If Uthor built the foundations, King Lymond was the captain that steered his house through conquest and alliance. Known as the Sea Lion for his fierce command of the seas, Lymond was the last Hightower king before bowing to the Gardner dynasty. His greatest feat was victory over Theon Greyjoy III, who he defeated and killed. In repelling Theon's Ironborn raiders, he enhanced the house's reputation as guardians of the Sunset Sea. Under his command, Oldtown's fleet became a formidable force that no lord or king in Westeros could match. His ships patrolled the Reach's coastline, deterring pirates and securing vital trade routes that brought wealth and exotic goods from across the narrow sea. But it was his marriage that reshaped the Reach's future. Lymond married King Garland Gardiner's daughter, uniting two great houses and ending Hightower kingship. This alliance secured survival and immense wealth. The union symbolized the melding of martial strength and political prudence, ensuring peace and prosperity for the Reach. Oldtown and the Hightowers came under the Gardner banner, but crucially, the Hightowers retained autonomy and influence. Lymond's legacy was one of calculation and strategy. Better to be the power behind the throne than the throne itself. Manfred Hightower. At the dawn of Targaryen rule, Lord Manfred Hightower's wisdom preserved Oldtown while other great houses burned. Born in or before 34 BC, Manfred ruled during Aegon the Conqueror's arrival. Faced with a choice between submission or annihilation, Manfred chose prudence. Guided by the High Septon's prophecy that Oldtown would burn if the faith opposed the Targaryens, he opened gates without resistance. This spared Oldtown, the Citadel, and the Starry Sept. His decision was not without controversy. Some lords called for defiance, but Manfred's faith and foresight prevailed. A cautious and godly man, he understood that survival required humility as much as valor. Manfred had many children, and he used them to build a web of strategic marriages and alliances. Some say he offered a daughter to Aegon, who declined, showing his intent to bind the house to the new dynasty. His piety and diplomacy earned respect from both the faith and the Targaryens, securing Oldtown's place in the New World Order. Manfred died in 10 or 11 AC. Donnel Hightower. In King Jaehaerys I's Golden Age, Lord Donnel, the Delayer, ruled Oldtown with cautious calculation. Born around 17 AC and dying in 59 AC, Donnel's life saw much political upheaval and religious unrest. When Septon Moon's rebel faith militant faction descended on Oldtown, Donnel closed the gates but hesitated to engage, earning his nickname. His strategy paid off when Septon Moon was poisoned, leading his followers to desert in droves. By the time he engaged the remaining rebels, less than 400 of the 5,000-strong host remained. His actions reflected a deep understanding of the volatile religious and political currents swirling through the city. Donnel was active in politics of the realm, attending grand events and arresting nobles who threatened royal security. By supporting Jaehaerys' doctrine of exceptionalism, essentially allowing the Targaryens to continue their practice of incestuous marriages, he was able to secure the appointment of his brother as High Septon, cementing family influence over the faith. Critics called him self-serving, but his focus on Oldtown's interests typified the Hightower approach: survival and prosperity through control of power's levers, both secular and sacred. And if you want to ensure our survival and prosperity, leave a like. Hobert Hightower. Sir Hobert's story is one of reluctant heroism in the chaos after Ormund's death. Born in 70 AC, he was a seasoned knight but a poor commander, tasked with guarding Ormund's baggage train before inheriting command at 60 through sheer necessity. His leadership could not prevent the sack of Tumbleton, a lasting stain on the Greens. Yet his final act is what defines him. The Green cause was threatened by the Dragonseeds Hugh Hammer and Ulf the White, whose reckless ambitions endangered the faction itself. As one of the caltrops, the Reach Lords sworn to eliminate those rogue dragon riders, Hobert devised a desperate plan. He offered Ulf 2 casks of wine, one poisoned with arbor gold. Suspicious, Ulf demanded Hobert drink first. Hobert did, knowingly choosing loyalty over life itself. Both men were dead within hours. Maester Gildane writes, "History has little good to say about Sir Hobert, but no man can question the manner of his death." Mushroom put it more sharply. No man feared Sir Hobert's sword, but his wine cup was deadlier than Valyrian steel. Though never a great commander, Hobert's loyalty was never in doubt. Bryndon Hightower. Sir Bryndon, Ormund's cousin, was regarded as Oldtown's foremost knight during the Dance of the Dragons. Armed with a fearsome long axe, he was a living symbol of Hightower martial pride. He marched with Ormund's host through the Reach and was among the leading Hightower warriors in the Green War effort. At the First Battle of Tumbleton, Bryndon fought beside Ormund against the Blacks under Lord Roderick Dustin, one of the most dangerous commanders in the field. In the thick of the fighting, Bryndon managed to hew off Dustin's shield arm before both men fell in the struggle. Bryndon's loyalty and battlefield courage fit the Hightower image: proud, disciplined, and fully committed to the Reach's green cause. Who is your favorite Hightower? Let us know in the comments. Lionel Hightower. 15-year-old Lionel Hightower inherited the lordship after Ormund's death. Born in 114 or 115 AC, he came to power at a turbulent moment, with war, scandal, and political uncertainty all closing in at once. Still loyal to the Green cause, Lionel famously tore up the peace terms offered by Lord Corlys Velaryon, a gesture that captured both his youth and his fierce devotion to his house. Yet Lionel is remembered just as much for scandal as for politics. His affair with his stepmother, Lady Samantha Tarly, only 2 years older than he was and the widow of his father Ormund, shocked the realm. Their relationship defied both custom and the faith, and though they were forbidden to marry, they lived openly together and had 6 children. It became one of the most notorious noble scandals of the age. In time, though, those children were legitimized. Lionel's rule was shaped by the difficult task of preserving Hightower power in a fractured world. He inherited not triumph, but the burden of rebuilding after war. Otto Hightower. Born shortly before 76 AC, Otto was Hand of the King to 3 monarchs: Jaehaerys I, Viserys I, and Aegon II. He was a titan whose influence spanned decades. Father to Alicent and uncle to Ormund, Otto's rise was due to intellect, ambition, and a relentless will to shape the realm. His greatest rival was Prince Daemon, whose fiery temper and martial skill stood in stark contrast to Otto's vision and cunning. Assuming the position of Hand in 101 AC, during the twilight of Jaehaerys' reign, Otto effectively governed Westeros on Jaehaerys' behalf, and was determined to prolong that golden age amid simmering succession disputes. His policies favored stability and tradition, but beneath the surface, he maneuvered to secure the Hightower's place at the realm's center. Otto's strategy was to sideline Daemon, stripping him of titles. Initially, Otto supported Princess Rhaenyra's claim against Daemon's threat, but his loyalties shifted with the birth of his daughter Alicent's sons, especially Aegon. Favoring Aegon's claim over Rhaenyra's led to Otto's dismissal in 109 AC, yet retreat was not defeat. From Oldtown, he cultivated the Greens faction backing Alicent's sons. Reinstated as Hand in 120 AC after Lord Lionel Strong's death, Otto stacked the small council with allies, securing Green's dominance. When Viserys I died in 129 AC, Otto concealed the king's death, orchestrating Aegon's controversial coronation. This event shattered the realm and birthed the Dance of the Dragons. This was Otto's defining moment, the shadowy power behind a civil war he helped ignite. His initial diplomacy, sending Prince Aemon to Storm's End to win over Lord Boros Baratheon, was masterful. But war demanded more. Aegon grew impatient, dismissing Otto in favor of Sir Criston Cole. We won't spoil Otto's end here, but his legacy is a stark reminder that the pursuit of power, even cautious and learned, can spiral into destruction. Alicent Hightower. Born in 88 AC, Alicent was Otto Hightower's daughter, raised in the heart of court intrigue. Her marriage to King Viserys in 106 AC marked a turning point for the Hightowers and the realm. After Queen Aemma Arryn's death, the match was a calculated move by Otto to elevate the house and bind House Hightower firmly to the Targaryens. At first, Alicent and Princess Rhaenyra lived together with a measure of civility, but the births of Alicent's children, Aegon, Helaena, Aemond, and Daeron, cast a long shadow over the succession and eventually split the court in two. Their rivalry became the heart of the conflict between Greens and Blacks. The Greens took their name from the Green Gown Alicent wore at the tourney of 111 AC. Politically skilled and fiercely influential, she drew powerful lords to her side. When Viserys died in 129 AC, she helped crown Aegon, despite Viserys having named Rhaenyra his heir. Even after Otto's dismissal, she remained central to events. Yet Alicent was not driven by ambition alone. Amid the destruction of the Dance of the Dragons, she also sought peace, offering terms of surrender to Rhaenyra, though by then, the war had moved beyond compromise. In the books, Alicent dies in 133 AC, broken by grief and winter fever, but her role in shaping the Dance of the Dragons cannot be overstated. Leyton Hightower. No recent Hightower casts a longer shadow than Lord Leyton, the Old Man of Oldtown. As head of the house, he bears the titles Voice of Oldtown, Lord of the Port, Defender of the Citadel, and Beacon of the South. Yet for more than a decade, he remained inside his great tower, becoming one of the Reach's most mysterious lords. Leyton's long seclusion fed endless speculation. He was said to spend his days high in the tower with his eldest daughter, Melora, the Mad Maid, studying magic, prophecy, and forbidden lore. As Ironborn raiders battered the Reach, Leyton remained above while his sons worked below to strengthen Oldtown's defenses and seek aid. Yet Leyton's influence reaches far beyond the tower. Through 4 marriages and careful dynastic ties, he helped bind House Hightower tightly to the ruling Tyrells, most notably through his daughter Alarie's marriage to Lord Mace Tyrell. Despite ruling during a blood-soaked period that spanned Robert's Rebellion and the War of the Five Kings, Leyton seems to prefer knowledge, lineage, and patience. That is what makes him so compelling. Melora Hightower. Melora, Leyton's eldest daughter, is every bit as enigmatic as her father. Known as the Mad Maid, she was surrounded by whispers of eccentricity, fear, and possible sorcery. High atop the Hightower, she was said to study books of spells beside Leyton, pursuing arcane knowledge. The Hightowers have long stood close to the Citadel, but Melora hints at something stranger beneath the polished image. As Ironborn raiders struck the Reach, she and Leyton remained shut away in the tower. She stands as a symbol of the Hightower's most mysterious side, a house tied not only to power, learning, and religion, but perhaps also to older and darker forces still lingering in the shadows of the Citadel. Alarie Hightower. If Leyton and Melora represent the mysterious side of House Hightower, Alarie embodies its more practical side. As the wife of Mace Tyrell, she was one of the key links binding the Hightowers to the rulers of the Reach. Born in the late 260s AC, Aleri was tall and beautiful, with silvery hair often braided with jewels, projecting both grace and status. But Alari's importance lies in more than just her appearance. She exercised influence in the way many great noblewomen do, through family ties, household authority, and the careful maintenance of alliances. Through her children, Willis, Garland, Loras, and Marjorie, she placed herself near the center of Westerosi political life. Lynese Hightower. Not every Hightower story is one of power or mystery. Lynese, Leyton's youngest daughter, was a more tragic figure. When Ser Jorah Mormont crowned her Queen of Love and Beauty at the tourney at Lannisport, their marriage seemed like the start of a storybook romance. But the harshness of Bear Island offered a harsh reality check after the luxury of Oldtown. Jorah tried to give Lynese the life she had known in the South, and the cost drove him into debt, desperation, and finally slavery, a crime that stripped him of his honor and sent him into exile. In Lys, Lynese became the chief concubine of the merchant prince Tregor Ormalin, while Jorah drifted into bitterness and exile as a sellsword. If rumors are to be believed, she rose so high in Tregor's household that even his wife feared her. Baelor Hightower was Leyton's eldest son and heir and a figure of quiet complexity. In the events of A Feast for Crows, he was Oldtown's leading heir and one of the key Hightowers of the current generation. Nicknamed Baelor Brightsmile, though Prince Oberyn Martell once jokingly called him Baelor Breakwind, he carried forward House Hightower's martial and political legacy. Not prone to political intrigue, Baelor instead oversaw Oldtown's defense, ramping up shipbuilding efforts after the Ironborn raids. His marriage to Rhonda Rowan strengthened ties with another noble house. Baelor represented Hightower steadiness, unflashy, capable, and grounded in stewardship. His calm manner and practical mind made him a stabilizing force in an uncertain Reach. As heir, he helped ensure Oldtown remained a bastion of stability. Gunther Hightower. Gunther, Leyton's third son, was a knight with a scholarly bent who studied at the Citadel, where he learned the rare summer tongue, a useful skill in a city shaped by trade. Commanding the harbor defenses during the Ironborn threat, his dealings with Kuhuru Mo, captain of the Cinnamon Wind, reflected the now-established Hightower preference for negotiation over rashness. Gunther's role in guarding Oldtown's port was crucial, as the city's wealth depended on trade and the harbor was its lifeblood. By managing arrivals, departures, and security, he helped preserve Hightower influence, while his knowledge of foreign tongues and customs also helped sustain a fragile peace and prosperity. Humphrey Hightower. Last but not least, Humphrey, Leyton's youngest son, reflected House Hightower's adaptability in crisis. Sent to Lys to hire cell sales after the Ironborn attacks, he represented the practical demands of defending Oldtown when local strength was not enough. Lys, a city of wealth, intrigue, and mercenaries, offered both opportunity and risk. Humphrey's link to his sister Lynese may have helped his efforts, tying family connection to political necessity. His mission showed the Hightowers at their most pragmatic. When feudal levies proved insufficient, they looked beyond Westeros, turning to foreign coin and alliances to protect their power. In that sense, Humphrey's journey to the Free Cities revealed the breadth of Hightower influence and their willingness to use whatever means were necessary to preserve their position. A philosophy that's enabled them to maintain their place as one of Westeros's foremost great houses since the Age of Heroes. That's all for today, but make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on all the House of the Dragon content we have in store for you.